Ultraman was an absolute monster in the new Superman movie, pushing our beloved hero to the very brink, but even though Superman was able to defeat him, I don't think his story ends there. There's a chance that Ultraman will return as something much worse, an iconic villain straight from the comics. Let's break it down. One of the biggest reveals of this movie was the true identity of Ultraman, and it turns out that he wasn't just some random powerhouse, he was a clone of Superman who was created by none other than Lex Luthor. Here's how it all went down. Luthor wanted access to Superman's Fortress of Solitude, but Superman himself was the only one who could unlock it. That's where Ultraman came in. Using a piece of Superman's hair, Lex created a near-exact clone, though one with low intelligence and complete obedience to its new master. With Ultraman at his side, Lex was able to break into the fortress, uncover the hidden message from Superman's Kryptonian parents, and twist that information to turn the world against the Man of Steel. In other words, Ultraman wasn't just a weapon, he was the key to Lex's entire plan. Of course, all of this built up to the epic final showdown between Superman and Ultraman, but here's the catch. Ultraman was totally dependent on Lex's instructions. Without his master guiding him, Ultraman was vulnerable. He ain't got hands by himself. With Krypto coming in and taking out the drones that were feeding Ultraman instructions, Superman was able to get the upper hand in the fight. And after a brutal battle, Superman managed to hurl Ultraman into the black hole that was tearing Metropolis apart. But here's where things get interesting. I don't think the black hole destroyed Ultraman. I think it transforms him into Bizarro. For anyone new to the character, Bizarro is one of Superman's most famous and tragic villains. On the surface, he looks like a distorted version of Superman. Pale skin, cracked features, and sometimes he has a backwards S on his chest. But here's what makes him unique. Bizarro isn't evil in the same way that Lex Luthor is evil. In most origins, Bizarro is a failed clone of Superman who thinks he's being a hero. The problem is, though, his broken mind and distorted body make him do everything backwards. So instead of saving people, he causes destruction. That's why he's such an interesting villain, because he's not malicious by choice. He's a twisted mirror of Superman, like he wants to be good, but simply can't. Like I mentioned earlier, in the comics, Bizarro is often created by Lex Luthor through failed experiments with cloning. That's exactly what happened with Ultraman in this movie, the only difference being the black hole. I think the black hole will distort Ultraman physically and mentally, reshaping him into Bizarro. This would perfectly blend the comic book origins with the new movie storyline. Instead of being destroyed, Ultraman would return in the sequel as Bizarro, a broken clone of Superman, who's trying to live up to the ideal of a hero, but tragically causes more harm than good. And that's where the story would get really compelling, because Superman wouldn't be fighting just another powerhouse, he would be fighting a distorted reflection of himself. A version of him that's broken, confused, and dangerous, but maybe still capable of being saved. If Ultraman truly becomes Bizarro, then the sequel won't be just another big battle. It'll be about Superman trying to find compassion for someone who is literally his mere image. Someone who wants to be him, but never can. Emotions would run wild in this movie. So what do you think? Will Ultraman's story end with that black hole, or do you think he'll be reborn as Bizarro? Let me know your theories down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure to shoot some heat vision at the like button, then subscribe to Haynes for Heroes so we can talk more about the heroes and villains and stories that make this genre so epic. Thanks for watching.